feel like you need shelter? Because I think I do. In my 20 years in radio, I've never lived through worse times than we're living through under this poseur. From POTUS to a poseur in one generation. What I'm about to divulge for you today on the Savage Nation, you're not going to believe. And they say, oh, he's more hype, this and that. What I've discovered today about the illegal immigrant surge and who did it and why they're doing it is something that should have been done by our news organizations. Think about it. ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, Fox News, you name it. They have staffs of hundreds of people in research. None of them have discovered what I, Michael Savage, discovered in a few minutes with a staff of a few. I followed the money. I found out who's behind this. And by the time I get through, and you're going to have to stick with me because I'm not going to give you the punchline at the beginning of the show. It's going to have to go slowly at a natural rhythm. I can't spit it all out at once, as I normally do. Because what I'm about to divulge to you will change your mind about politics for the rest of your life. I've been in the radio business 20 years. I've had some very high points. I'd say the highest point was stopping the Dubai ports deal. I single-handedly stopped the Dubai ports deal. For those of you who've been following me all these years, you know what it means. For those of you who haven't, I'm not going to bother telling you about it. I've had a few other victories here and there. But what I'm about to disclose for you today on the radio show will forever warp your view of politics in the United States of America. Now, Obama is what I've said he is. Obama is the man he appears to be, the fraud that he is, the anti-American he is, but he's not alone. He's a front man for the Republican, Democrat business interests that put him in power. When I get through with this show today, either you're going to get sicker or you're going to get well, but you will not be the same. So let me begin at the beginning. As the show came to an end yesterday on the Savage Nation, there was an article from the Gateway Pundit that was all over the media about the luxury hotels being rehabbed for the illegal alien children. Obama to pay illegals, offer all-you-can-eat meals, free cable TV, lawyers, medical, and dental on a 29-acre complex that ICE proudly showed off to the media on Thursday. It was a renovated detention center for illegal alien families in Karnes City, Texas. So I said yesterday at the end of the show, wait a minute, where's the money coming from? Who are the contractors? Do you remember yesterday I said to you there were billions of dollars stolen during the Iraq War and the Afghanistan War by corrupt contractors, the K Street gang of criminals? Do you remember that? And I said, who are the contractors who are making and are going to make billions off the illegal alien amnesty surge? The children from Guatemala. Somebody's making money off this. Because yesterday I told you we found the RFP put out in January for housing and clothing and feeding these children. The government was plotting to bring them all along. But someone was making a fortune on it, I figured. But I didn't know who. So now I wake up and they're going to get flat screen TVs. Are you listening to me? If you're a poor American, do you have a beauty parlor at your disposal for free? Do you have flat screen TV? Do you have free lawyers, doctors, dentists? Do you have a workout gym? Do you have a swimming pool? Do you have a soccer field in your housing complex? They do. They will. So I said, wait a minute. Somebody's making a fortune off of this. $50 million federal government contract to house illegal aliens at another facility that was blocked, and yet they're moving them in here. Many of the rooms are suites, private toilets and showers, flat screen TVs, cable, TV, soccer fields. You get the picture, right? Well, guess what? Some people are getting rich off the billion-dollar immigration surge, and they're not all Democrats. No, you don't know that. You see, only a handful of U.S. corporations have the honor of long-term contracts with federal agencies that deal with the, quote, immigration problem. It's a closed shop. And for these companies, the latest surge from Guatemala and El Salvador has meant big business, big profits. And Obama's pushing for funding, emergency funding for so-called family detention centers like the one in Texas. Resorts they are. Soccer fields with artificial turf, lighting, flat-screen TVs, pools, amenities. Amenities you might get on a vacation once a year if you had the money. So why are we spending so much money on those who break our laws? The answer is because of profiteers. You see, every television, every desk lamp, every blade of fake soccer grass has a huge markup to it. You heard about the $32 aspirin in hospitals, right? Well, that's nothing compared to what these companies are making in these detention facilities. It's connected to the companies that run prisons for profit. You get the picture? Prisons for profit. Did you know about them? Well, I dug into the particulars of one such company called GEO Group, GEO Group. Remember, this should have been done by ABC or CBS. You'll hear about it Monday on Rush's show, once the script is given to him. That I did it for you. Listen to me very carefully. One such company that's making a profit off the immigrant surge is GEO Company. So I try to find out who is the GEO Company. Who are they? In the past 6 years, GEO was awarded $900 million in ICE contracts alone, according to government data procured by Source US and delivered to you for free on the Savage Nation. But it gets even better. I've just got warmed up. Wait till you see where the tentacles go and where they come from. I went into this. $900 million to this one company in ICE contracts alone. Now, who was the parent company of GEO? Notice they have these acronyms that have no meaning. GEO Corporation. Who's the parent company of GEO? Wackenhut Corporation. Well, wait a minute. Wackenhut, who are they? Well, it turns out Wackenhut Corporation owns a lot of private prisons. And they funded the American Legislative Exchange Council, ALEC. Well, what is that? What do you mean the American Legislative Exchange Council? Who are they? Well, what they are is a lobbying group. They tell your elected officials what to vote on. They tell the elected officials where to eat, what to breathe, and how to operate. They run the country. Are you ready for this? Because what I'm about to tell you will change your view of politics for the rest of your life. Who's on the American Legislative Exchange Council? Who's on, Alec? Behind all of these resorts for illegal aliens. Well, I have the names because you wanted to know the answers. The top shareholders include people you never heard of. It's an international organization. They own facilities in the UK, Australia, South Africa, and the U.S. And the top shareholders are George Zolli, John Bulfin, Norman Carlson, Thomas Wiedsma, and Jorge Dominicus. I don't know who they are. But maybe some of these hedge funds are familiar to you. Because if you have money in any of these hedge funds, they have money in the GEO Group, who owns the holding facilities for the illegal alien children. BlackRock Fund Advisors, Credit Suisse, River Road Asset Management, LLC, Eagle Asset Management, Inc., Scopia Capital Management, LLC, Carlson Capital, LP, BlackRock Institutional Trust Company, Hotchkiss & Wiley Capital Management, Vanguard Group, Inc. See, nothing's wrong. It's not illegal. Don't assume I'm saying there's anything illegal in what they're doing. I'm just telling you follow the money. So let me go down the list. Maybe you have mutual funds, and you like the few percent you're making every year or whatever. Well, they're profiting from the illegal alien surge. You may be maybe say you're a conservative, you're against illegal aliens. Well, here are the mutual funds that hold GEO stock. Vanguard Specialized REIT Fund, Fidelity Small Cap Discovery Fund, iShares Core S&P Small Cap ETF, Prudential Jennison Equity Income Fund, Eagle Series TR Eagle Small Cap Growth Fund, iShares Russell 2000 ETF. They're big holders, by the way. Vanguard Small Cap Index Fund, Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. You get the picture, right? But I'm not finished yet. I've just gotten started. Who is the board of directors of GEO Group that is making billions off the illegal aliens that are being given luxury resorts to reside in? And this may explain why the Republicans, along with the Democrats, have been lobbying for amnesty in one form or another. Well, they're not household names, but they have names. Board of Directors, George Zolli, Chairman of the Board. Richard Glanton, CEO. Norman Carlson, former Director of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Let me pause right there. The former Director of the U.S. Federal Bureau of Prisons is on this private group, GEO. It gets even better. Also on the board is Ann Newman Foreman, former Undersecretary of the U.S. Air Force. See, you were told women in the military would be much kinder and gentler. Well, there she is. She left the Air Force, and she's on the board of directors. She hasn't committed a crime, by the way. It's done by everyone. Look how well they're all doing. They came to do good, and they did very well indeed. Clarence E. Anthony, President and CEO of Anthony Government Solutions, Inc. Christopher Wheeler, Julie M. Wood. Again, these are not household names, but wait until you hear the punchline, because you haven't heard it yet. Before you turn that dial, I realize this is dry and maybe a little boring, but wait until you hear the punchline, because you're going to get it, and you're not going to believe who's pushing amnesty for illegals. An old Mike Savage, who stopped the Dubai port steal, who's been on immigrants and epidemics for 30 years, the man who defined borders, language, and culture. You're listening to him, and I'm giving you something that I would consider the milestone of my career, because it now comes to the punchline in this little scenario. Who's getting rich off the billion-dollar immigrant surge? Well, those companies, those hedge funds, those other funds. Are you ready for where this goes? The Koch brothers, David and Charles, who are two of the richest people in the world, are key funders of the American Legislative Exchange Council, ALEC. I explained to you a few minutes ago, what ALEC is and what they do. ALEC is a lobbying group, and they tell legislators what to do. The Koch brothers are key funders of the American Legislative Exchange Council. And so there you have it. You thought it was all liberals who wanted amnesty, but now you find out it's very apparent conservatives who are now the guiding forces behind the illegal immigration surge that's going on in this country, because they own these facilities with thousands of unused beds around the nation, and they want you to fill them and pay for them. Big business, big government, and big religion. All one bundle, getting paid off your back. Ladies and gentlemen, what I've just disclosed to you is worthy of a Pew Love Surprise. But you won't hear it anywhere else until it's stolen from me, and I don't care, because at this point in my career, I've become like Lao Tzu. Don't give me credit, just steal this idea. Run with it, because I've just gotten started. When I come back, I'm going to show you how the putative legalization of marijuana and the liberalization of marijuana laws has emptied out many of the private prisons, which now have too many beds. So these capitalists have pushed Congress to bring in these illegal aliens by the trainload to fill the beds in many of their privately held detention centers. That's the beginning of the Savage Nation for the 1st of August in the year 2014.